Hi there, let's take a look at the national briefing, including Philadelphia, over the course of the next week going into the new year. What's the story? Well, it looks like a quiet end to the year as far as snowstorms and storms in general. How cold will it be going into the new year, and who's going to have a white Christmas? Let's take a look. Looking at the National Enhanced Infrared Satellite Imagery, we can see an active pattern with a disturbance, a storm system coming on shore to the western United States and into the Rockies, bringing rains and snow into the higher elevations. And also this pool of cold air here over southern Canada, south of the Hudson Bay. This green temperature right here is actually the ground, so that should give you some idea how cold the air is above the ground in this region. This cold air is headed down into the northeast part of the United States. This subtropical jet has been actually quite active and has been bringing rain and even some snow and ice conditions, freezing rain conditions up here in Maine. This storm system will exit off to the east and will bring in this cold air behind it. The place to be right now is in Florida, as it's sunny down here and warm. It's going to be the warmest part of the country over the next course of the week, actually. So if you want warmth and you want sunshine, head to Florida this time of year. In Texas and the desert southwest and California, sunny conditions. This very dim white brightness, or I should say this grayish feature right here, is fresh snow that has just fallen across the lower Great Plains region, as there was an ice storm in Oklahoma yesterday that caused problems there, and it was actually snowing up in Green Bay if you were watching the Green Bay Steelers game. So the people were out in the cold and snow there. So let's take a look here at the jet stream, and pretty powerful. The northern branch and the southern branch of the jet streams combining over the east coast right now, which are causing the warm temperatures coming up from the south anyway. And the moisture, this jet stream has been extremely strong. In fact, we're looking at 150 knot winds. That's probably at least 180 mile an hour winds up where the airliners fly right now. So if you're on a flight leaving from St. Louis or anywhere in Oklahoma City, going to, even if you're leaving from the Northeast and you're going overseas to Ireland or England or over to Europe for the holidays, this jet stream will definitely give your aircraft a tailwind, and you'll get there a lot quicker than you probably would have realized. Let's take a look at the national radar. We have some light snow activity heading into southern and western Missouri out of Kansas right now. We have some lake effect snow showers over eastern Wisconsin and also western Michigan. This is the big storm system in the east coast that is headed out to sea as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. In fact, this is all warm surging temperatures coming up the east coast, and that's going to go away. That's going to no longer be existent, as colder air will be moving in. Right now we have some snow over northern parts of Maine. We have a wintry mix over the coastal Maine. In fact, there's an ice storm warning and freezing rain advisory over southeastern New Hampshire, and also even parts of extreme northeastern Massachusetts, north of Boston. Some advisories and warnings out here. This radar isn't picking that up, but this is an ice storm up in northeastern New England. We have some snow showers associated with that disturbance moving in from the west coast, and also some rain showers in western Oregon and also up in Seattle here. Let's take a look at the national surface plot information, including radar. We have this storm system here over the east coast. We have one of the surface lows right here just east of Charlotte, and we have another surface low here over Long Island. Temperatures in the 60s and upper 50s in Philadelphia, down into the 70s in Wilmington, North Carolina. This is actually where I am right now for Christmas, and I can tell you what, the crickets are chirping at nighttime down here. We needed air conditioning. The air conditioning is still on to feel comfortable, and it has been humid. This is a warm air mass. 80 down in Charleston. Look at these temperatures down in Florida here. 81, 83, 81 in Miami, 84 and 80 degrees along the west coast. Yet it's in the 40s and upper 40s in New Orleans, and only in the 40s around Dallas. This is a big dome of cold air here with negative temperatures out in the upper plains. In fact, right now, 0 being reported in the Twin Cities, and we got 20s. Looks like we got the teens out here in Milwaukee and Chicago, and this cold air is headed east. We have some light snow showers and some rain out here in the Pacific Northwest. We have the 60s in Southern California. We have the 60s in the desert Southwest, and sunny conditions here in the southwest part of the country. We still have cloudy conditions with the disturbance with light snow moving from Kansas into Missouri currently right now. We have clear and cold and negative digits up here in the northern parts of the plains. And we also have clouds over the whole East Coast. These black dots are indicated socked-in conditions, especially here in the East Coast, but this will all be moving out, clearing. The skies will clear, the clouds over the East Coast will clear out, and it will become cold. So let's take a look at the model forecast. The model forecast here. This is the GFS covering the whole United States. So this piece of energy, which has been around, it was over the central part of the country, but this piece of energy here is going to be moving into the off to sea into the Atlantic Ocean. And as we head into Wednesday by 7 a.m., high pressure over the East Coast and cold. It's going to be colder. I expect highs in the Philadelphia area to be in the 30s, slightly warmer in the south and colder up in the New England. And it looks like cold invades a good part of the northern half of the country, with snow moving into Wisconsin and into Michigan as well, also into Minnesota. Let's put the model in motion here. That snow we can see down here moves eastward, and another piece of energy heads into the northeast by Friday. And this system this is an Alberta Clipper, and this is a moisture-starved Alberta Clipper, which will just bring some flurries maybe to upstate New York and up into the Canadian border, maybe near Buffalo. It might aggravate some lake effect snow to fall over extreme northwestern part of Pennsylvania. But it looks like much of the central part of the United States moderates with the temperatures and probably heads up into the 30s in this part of the country right here, and St. Paul and Minneapolis actually warm up quite a bit into Friday. Again, let's put this model into motion for your Saturday, and it looks like temperatures continue to rebound across the Midwest and the Chicago, not quite as cold, Milwaukee, Green Bay, not as cold, and also Detroit. And it looks like the coldest temperatures will be up in northern New England. Again, down here in the southern part of the United States, they will be basking in the sunshine. And the place to go this time of year is Florida for the warmth. The nicest weather, as far as clouds being non-existent and skies being clear, will be out in Southern California. In fact, all of California probably. So let's take a look here at Saturday and the Sunday, and we can see the cold actually returns next week on Monday. By Monday morning, much of the United States northern half, as far down into the panhandle of Texas, is going to be in the freezing range, and up here in the northern Midwest, it's going to be brutally cold with negative temperatures likely anywhere above this blue line. Here comes the Arctic front. This is going to be a pool of Arctic air over Canada and the Hudson Bay, which will be intruding the northern half of our country and heading into the northeast, as we can see some snow showers along the leading edge of that Arctic front, and also a powerful jet stream coming down from the northern parts of Alaska and the Rockies as well. We're looking again here at Monday as a strong Arctic high pressure system moves in. It gets warm on Sunday, but then on Monday it gets to be cold again. In fact, we're going to probably struggle to reach 25 degrees here in the East Coast, or I should say in the Northeast, or Philadelphia anyway, by Monday evening and the Tuesday. So that's what the story will be, is the cold intruding the Northeast, most of the northern part of the country into next week. So if you're traveling anywhere in the upper Midwest, you're going to want to bundle up, because winter is going to be here, and it's going to come with a vengeance with this Arctic polar air outbreak. The cold air could even intrude down as far as the panhandle of Florida, and that's when you know it's a big outbreak heading down here. So flurries left over, some lake effect flurries left over on this after this front moves through on Monday evening. The desert Southwest looks to be warmer and drier than it was today, and it looks like the place to be out here is either in Southern California or in Florida if you want to get around the cold temperatures. Let's take a look at your temperatures here through early tomorrow morning. Looks like the highs on Tuesday will be in the 40s. Although I think that's going to be a little overdone. I don't think that it quite makes the 40s up in the Northeast here on Tuesday. This panel right here is the daytime forecast, computer guided computer model temperatures, saying in the 40s for Philadelphia, New York, and DC, down into the Carolinas. We're looking in the 50s, maybe upper 50s, 80 degrees down in Miami. Not surprising, since that's usually the warmest spot this time of year. This is the place to escape the cold. Here comes the cold behind this front, although it's not going to be a severe cold after this system moves out of the Northeast today and tonight. The temperatures out here in the upper Midwest will be in the teens, as high as on Tuesdays. Looks like much of the country, though, isn't too bad. The only part that's going to be cold is the upper Midwest and upper Plains. Let's take a look here on Christmas Day. Let's see who's going to have the warmest temperatures. Not surprising, Florida, southern Texas, and also southern California and the desert Southwest are going to have 70s and even 80s in Florida for Christmas Day. In the Northeast, up in Maine, it's going to be cold. Up around Boston, we're going to have temperatures in the 20s, and struggling to make freezing here in the Philadelphia area for Christmas Day. And it looks like still single digits over Minnesota. All the cold is going to be up in here in this part of the country for Christmas Day, and warmer elsewhere. Let's take a look at day 3. This is the day after Christmas, the 26th. Not too bad for the cold. It looks like a temporary reprieve from it across the interior Northeast here. Still, the coldest temperatures will be across Minnesota and Wisconsin. Let's take a look here for Friday for the high temperatures. Still warm down in Florida, Southern California, and the Texas. And it looks like temperatures are starting to actually warm up for Minnesota and Wisconsin, all the way up into the mid-20s. Not warm by any other places in the Northeast standards, but definitely warm for Minnesota and for Wisconsin this time of year. Looks like we're going to maybe reach 40 here in the Philadelphia area on Friday. The place to go is going to be out to California or into Florida. And let's take a look at day 5, which is Saturday. Still looks like things slowly start to warm up as we head later into this week into the 40s, and maybe even hits 50 here on Saturday once again, although it's not going to be the record-breaking 70s that we experienced this past weekend. Up into the mid-50s on Sunday in D.C., and probably going to hit 50, maybe a little above in Philly, and also at 53 in New York City. But look at this. Here comes the cold air. Here comes the Arctic front. Here comes the negative temperatures, the sub-zero cold up here in the northern Midwest, or the upper plains, I should say. And then on Monday, here comes the extreme bitter cold behind this cold front, this Arctic front, which will be, and this will scoot east across the Northeast and across the major cities on Monday, and Tuesday of next week it will be back into the Arctic chill, which will be New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve going into the new year will be an Arctic outbreak of cold air again. So slightly warmer as we head into the week, but then coming into Monday next week, it looks like we're going to have another Arctic shot of colder temperatures across the Northeast heading into the new year. From New Year's Eve into New Year's, it will be cold across the Northeast, as we can see according to this one model right here. This is 0 degrees right here at 5,000 feet. You can see this line is well down into the deep south, so it's going to be cold anywhere north of this black line, all the way up into the Northeast, the Carolinas, across the plains. This is the Arctic outbreak that's coming on New Year's Eve into New Year's, so that's when it's going to be cold. So let's take a look at your chances for a white Christmas. Well, we have to get a snowstorm first before Christmas, and that's not going to be happening anywhere in this part of the country right here. Maybe some flurries right now heading into Missouri. But all the snow cover is up in northern New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, and all the way up into Maine and Michigan, and anywhere north of this line in the Rockies, the upper plains, the middle, the central part of the plains. But anywhere south of this snow line, including Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, it's going to be awfully hard to get a white Christmas here because there's no snow on the ground already. And if you're in Philly and you want to see some white Christmas activity, you might have to drive further out into western Pennsylvania, even northeastern Ohio, if you want to see any snow, or so you have a white Christmas, because whatever snow is going to be there, it's going to already be on the ground, and it's not going to be falling on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So your greatest chances of seeing a white Christmas are in this part of the country out here and in northern New England. Probably maybe even go skiing on Christmas Day. I know that down here I will actually be at the beach for Christmas Day, probably walking on the beach down here in Wilmington, and my white Christmas will be. So keep it right here to weatherranger.com, and always thank you for choosing Weather Ranger for your professional meteorologist, keeping you updated through the new year. Stay tuned as we head into January, into the core of winter. We will see if there are any major snowstorms headed our way, and we will keep you on top of the extreme cold. Thank you for tuning in. I'm weatherranger.com, Mike Griffith. Head on over to our graphical text and forecast page, as I will be updating the forecast discussion and also the graphics. Have a good day and stay tuned.